You wake up in the morning with that feeling of exhaustion that never seems to fade, that ache on the right side of your belly that you try to ignore, but it's always there, a reminder that something isn't right. You look in the mirror and see the bloating, the belly that's grown over the past few months, the clothes that no longer fit. And then you remember that drink you have every day, the one everyone says is good for you, that it's healthy, that it'll give you energy, help you lose weight. But what if I told you that this drink, especially if you're over 50, could be silently destroying your liver, turning that fatty liver you already have into something much, much worse? And the scariest part is that you're probably drinking it alone, without pairing it with the right foods, and that's accelerating a process that can lead to cirrhosis, liver failure, a point of no return. I know it sounds dramatic, I know you're probably thinking it's just more alarmism, but when you understand what happens inside your body when you consume this drink the wrong way, especially after 50 when your metabolism isn't what it used to be, you'll realize that every sip you take without proper knowledge is another step toward serious liver disease. And worst of all, nobody told you this. No doctor took the time to explain that there's a right way and a completely wrong way to consume this drink, and that the difference between these two ways could determine whether you reverse your fatty liver or need a transplant in a few years. There's a study recently published in the Journal of Hepatology that analyzed over 12,000 people over 50 with fatty liver disease, and what they discovered was absolutely shocking. Those who consumed a specific drink in isolation, without pairing it with proteins or healthy fats, had a progression to steatohepatitis, which is severe liver inflammation, 3 times faster than those who didn't consume it or consumed it correctly. 3 times faster. This means that in just 2 years, what could have taken 6 years to happen had already set in. And you know what that drink is? It's fruit juice, especially the natural juices that everyone thinks are the salvation of health. Orange juice in the morning, green juice for a snack, detox juice before bed. All of this, when consumed alone, without fiber, without protein, without good fats to slow down absorption, turns into a fructose bomb that goes straight to your liver and accelerates fat deposition in a way you can't even imagine. I'm a hepatologist, and I spend my days seeing people who are desperate because they found out they have fatty liver, that their liver enzymes are elevated, that the ultrasound showed moderate or severe steatosis. And when I start investigating their eating habits, in 8 out of 10 cases, the person tells me they drink natural juice every day, that they replaced soda with juice, thinking they were doing the best for their health. And I have to sit down, look into that person's eyes, and explain that unfortunately, they were victims of widespread misinformation. That natural juice, especially when squeezed and strained, is almost as harmful to the liver as soda, and in some cases even worse, because concentrated fructose without the fiber from the whole fruit is metabolized in a way that completely overloads the organ. If you've made it this far, it's because you're truly committed to your health, and that makes me genuinely happy. I created this channel precisely for people like you, who don't just want to hear they have fatty liver and accept it as their fate, but want to deeply understand what's happening inside their body, want real, practical solutions based on true science. Every week I bring you updated information, protocols I use in my practice, recent discoveries from international research, things that many doctors still don't know or don't have time to explain during a 15-minute appointment. Subscribe to the channel now and hit the notification bell, because I'm going to guide you on this journey to recover your liver. I'll show you exactly what to do, what to avoid, how to combine foods, how to interpret your lab results. You're not alone in this. And together with quality information and commitment, we will reverse this condition and you will regain your health, your energy, your life. Now, before I explain exactly why this drink is so dangerous when consumed alone and how you can continue to consume it the right way, I need you to understand something very important. I'm going to reveal to you the exact time of day when consuming juice is most harmful, what food combination turns this drink from a poison into an ally, and what specific type of juice you should completely avoid if you're over 50. But for you to truly understand this, for this information to really make sense, and for you to be able to apply it in your life, I first need to tell you a story that will make you see everything differently. 3 months ago, a patient named Marcia came into my office. She was 57 years old, a retired teacher, mother of 2 adult children, and grandmother to a beautiful 3-year-old grandson. Marcia was visibly scared, holding her exam results with trembling hands, her eyes red as if she hadn't slept all night. She had a routine checkup and discovered that her liver enzymes were very elevated. ALT at 120, when the normal is up to 41, AST at 98, and the ultrasound showed grade 2 fatty liver disease with early fibrosis. She looked at me and said, almost without a voice, that she didn't understand how this had happened. She didn't drink alcohol. She had stopped eating fried foods 2 years ago. She walked every day, and she had replaced all processed foods with natural foods. I started asking the usual questions, investigating every detail of her routine, and when I asked about drinks, she proudly told me she had completely eliminated sodas and store-bought juices, and now only drank natural juices she made herself at home. 3 glasses a day, she told me. A large glass of orange juice right after waking up on an empty stomach for energy and vitamin C. A glass of green juice in the mid-afternoon with kale, apple, ginger, and lemon for detoxification, and a glass of pineapple and mint juice before bed, because she had read somewhere that it helped with digestion. My heart sank when I heard that, because I knew exactly what was going on. Marcia was literally bombarding her liver with concentrated fructose 3 times a day, always on an empty stomach or by itself with no food to slow down the absorption of this sugar. And the worst part is, she was doing it with the best of intentions, thinking she was taking care of her health, thinking she was doing everything right. I explained to her calmly and empathetically that fruit juice, no matter how natural, when it's squeezed or blended, and especially when it's strained, completely loses the fiber that's essential for moderating fructose absorption. And fructose, unlike glucose, which can be used by any cell in the body, needs to be metabolized exclusively by the liver. When you drink a large glass of orange juice, you're consuming the fructose from 4 or 5 oranges all at once, without the fiber, and all of it goes straight to the liver, which has to process this enormous amount of sugar in one go. And you know what the liver does when it receives more fructose than it can immediately process? It turns it into fat. Fat that gets deposited right there in the liver cells, initiating or worsening fatty liver disease. Now, I need to ask you a question, and I want you to be completely honest with me, because your answer could help thousands of people watching this video right now. When you woke up this morning, what was the first thing you drank? Was it a glass of juice? Was it a green smoothie you think is super healthy? Was it that orange juice you've been drinking for years, thinking it was good for your body? I know it's hard to accept that something we always believed was good might actually be harming us. I know how confusing it is to receive information that contradicts everything we've heard our whole lives. It's frustrating, it's scary, it's that feeling of not knowing who to trust or what to believe anymore. So I want you to comment down below. Use these words if you want. I drink juice every day, and I'm worried about my liver. Don't be ashamed, don't feel judged, because this is a safe space. Nobody here will criticize you for not knowing something that the industry and the media have hidden from you for decades. When you comment, you're showing other people that they're not alone. You're creating a support network. You're helping someone going through the same struggle as you. Comment now. Because I read absolutely every single comment, I reply to each one. And your story matters, your concern matters, your health matters. Let me explain exactly what happens in your liver when you consume fruit juice, especially if you're over 50. Your liver has a limited capacity to process fructose, and this capacity significantly decreases with age because the enzymes responsible for metabolizing this sugar become less efficient. The mitochondrial function of liver cells declines, and the insulin resistance that naturally increases with aging makes the whole process even more problematic. When you were young, your liver could probably handle a glass of orange juice without major issues. But now, at 50 or 60, that same glass of juice represents a gigantic metabolic overload. Fructose enters the liver through a specific transporter and goes directly into a metabolic pathway that isn't regulated by insulin. This means that, unlike glucose, which has control mechanisms, fructose is metabolized without breaks, without limits. And the end result of this unchecked metabolism is the production of triglycerides, which are fat deposits, free radicals that cause inflammation and oxidation, and uric acid, which also contributes to insulin resistance and Going back to Marcia's story, I asked her to do a test with me. I asked her to stop all juices completely for 4 weeks and replace them with whole fruit, always accompanied by a source of protein or healthy fat. For breakfast, instead of orange juice, she would eat a whole orange with scrambled eggs or an omelet with cheese. For an afternoon snack, instead of a green smoothie, she would eat kale leaves in a salad with avocado and nuts. And before bed, instead of pineapple juice, she'd have a few slices of pineapple with a handful of almonds. It sounded too simple to work. She gave me that look of disbelief, but I insisted, asked her to trust me, and do exactly as I instructed. 4 weeks later, Marcia returned to the office, and when I saw her new lab results, I couldn't hide my smile. Her ALT had dropped from 120 to 62, her AST from 98 to 53, and more importantly, she had lost 10 pounds without a restrictive diet, without starving, just by changing how she consumed fruit. She was radiant, told me her energy had returned, that the bloating had significantly decreased, that she was sleeping better, and that she felt that uncomfortable heaviness on the right side of her belly less. But there's one patient I need to tell you about too, because not everyone is as lucky as Marcia in discovering the problem before it's too late. A few years ago, I treated an elderly woman named Teresa, 63 years old, diabetic for 15 years, hypertensive, overweight. Teresa drank detox juice 3 times a day because she had read on a healthy eating blog that detox juice cleaned the liver, eliminated toxins, and cured diabetes. She spent a fortune on organic fruits, kale, ginger, special seeds, all to make the perfect juices she thought were healing her body. By the time she came to me, it was too late. The ultrasound showed severe steatohepatitis. The elastography indicated advanced fibrosis, stage 3, almost cirrhosis. And her enzymes were so high that I had to admit her to the hospital to investigate if she wasn't having acute hepatitis. After all the tests, it was clear that the main factor that had led Teresa to that critical state was precisely the excessive consumption of fructose through juices combined with poorly controlled diabetes and severe insulin resistance. Teresa cried in my office when she understood that what she thought was saving her life was actually slowly destroying her liver. Today, she's on rigorous treatment, has managed to stabilize her condition, but the fibrosis that set in is irreversible. She will carry that with her for the rest of her life. So what's the fundamental difference between drinking juice and eating the whole fruit? It's the fiber, but it's not just that. When you eat a whole orange, you're consuming the pulp, the soluble and insoluble fibers you're chewing, which already kicks off the digestive process and sends satiety signals to your brain. The fibers form a kind of gel in your stomach and intestines that drastically slows down fructose absorption, making it reach your liver gradually, in small amounts that the organ can process without being overloaded. Plus, the whole fruit has more volume. You'd hardly eat 4 oranges at once, but you can easily drink a glass of juice that contains the fructose from 4 oranges. That's the big issue, concentration. And when you combine whole fruit with protein or healthy fats, you further enhance this protective effect because protein and fat also slow down gastric emptying, keeping your blood sugar levels more stable, preventing insulin spikes, and protecting your liver. Now for the part you've been waiting for, what to do in practice. First, if you have fatty liver and are over 50, completely avoid juices, even fresh ones, even organic ones, even homemade ones. Always opt for the whole fruit. Second, if you truly can't live without juice, never, ever, under any circumstances, consume it alone or on an empty stomach. Always have it with a complete meal that includes protein and healthy fats. For example, if you really want an orange juice, have it with breakfast that includes eggs, cheese, and avocado. Third, drastically reduce the amount. Instead of a large 10-ounce glass, have a maximum of 3 ounces, and even then, not every day. At most, twice a week. Fourth, never strain the juice, blend it, and consume it with all the fiber, and even then, pair it with protein and fat. Fifth, completely avoid those detox green juices made only with vegetables and fruits, because even vegetables, when blended and strained, lose their fiber. And the result is a liquid full of fructose that will overload your liver. Some people ask me, what about lemon juice? Can I drink lemon water on an empty stomach? The answer is yes, but with an important caveat. Lemons have very little fructose, so half a lemon squeezed into a glass of water won't cause the same problem as orange or pineapple juice. But be careful with excess. Don't overdo the amount of lemon because too much citric acid can also cause other issues, especially if you have gastritis or acid reflux. Another common question, what about vegetable juices like carrot or beet juice? Are those bad too? Yes, because carrots and beets have a lot of sugar, and when you juice and strain them, you're concentrating that sugar without the fiber. Prefer to eat carrots and beets raw or cooked, whole in salads, accompanied by protein and fat. And some people ask, but I saw a famous doctor on the internet saying green juice cures fatty liver. Who's right? Look, I respect all my colleagues, but science is clear, studies are clear. Excess fructose, especially without fiber, is hepatotoxic, period. That doctor might have good intentions, but either they're not up to date with the latest scientific literature, or they're prioritizing views and clicks over quality information. There's also the issue of processed juices, those carton drinks that claim to be 100% natural, no added sugar. These are even worse than the juices you make at home because, in addition to having no fiber, they undergo pasteurization processes that completely destroy vitamins, and many contain preservatives and additives that are harmful to the liver. So if natural homemade juices are already problematic, imagine the processed ones. Never, under any circumstances, consume juice from a carton if you have fatty liver. And don't even get me started on nectars. That's basically sugar water with a little fruit pulp, pure poison for those with fatty liver disease. Let me tell you about another case that perfectly illustrates what I'm talking about. Roberto, 52, an executive with a stressful life, always traveling for work. Roberto had grade 1 fatty liver, slightly elevated enzymes, insulin resistance, and prediabetes. He had seen a nutritionist who recommended a detox diet with 6 glasses of green juice a day, claiming it would cleanse his liver and reverse the fat. Roberto, confident, followed the advice to the letter for 3 months. When he went back for new tests, his fatty liver had progressed to grade 2, his enzymes had doubled, and he had gained 3 pounds instead of losing any. He was devastated. Unable to understand how a diet meant to heal had made everything worse, that's when he came to me, desperate, thinking he had some serious illness that doctors couldn't diagnose. I explained to him exactly what I'm explaining to you now, showed him the studies, the biological mechanisms, and we completely changed his approach. We removed the juices, incorporated whole fruits in small quantities, always combined with protein and fat, adjusted his diet to low carb, increased quality protein, good fats like olive oil, avocado, and nuts, and implemented intermittent fasting for 16 hours. In 2 months, Roberto had lost 7 pounds, his fatty liver returned to grade 1, his enzymes normalized completely, and his insulin resistance improved drastically. He called me, emotional, saying he had regained energy he hadn't felt in years, was sleeping better, his concentration at work had improved, and he felt 20 years younger. So, to sum up everything I've told you so far into practical steps you can start applying today. Number 1, completely eliminate juices from your routine, even homemade natural ones. Number 2, always eat the whole fruit with all its fiber. Number 3, always pair fruit with protein or healthy fats to slow down absorption. Number 4, prefer fruits with a lower glycemic index and lower fructose content, like berries, strawberries, blackberries, raspberries, blueberries. Number 5, avoid very sweet fruits high in fructose like mangoes, grapes, or figs, especially if you have insulin resistance or diabetes. Number 6, eat fruits preferably in the morning or early afternoon, never at night before bed, because at night your metabolism slows down, and fructose has a greater chance of being converted into fat. Number 7, limit your fruit intake to a maximum of 2 to 3 servings per day, where 1 serving is a medium-sized fruit or half a cup of chopped fruit. Number 8, monitor your liver enzymes regularly. Get TGO, TGP, and GGT tests every 3 months to track your progress. Number 9, get an abdominal ultrasound at least once a year to check if your fatty liver disease is improving, stable, or worsening. Number 10, combine these dietary changes with regular physical exercise, at least 150 minutes per week of moderate activity like brisk walking, swimming, or cycling, because exercise helps burn liver fat and improves insulin sensitivity. If you have fatty liver disease, if your enzymes are off, worried about your liver health, hit that like button on this video now, because that tells me this content is useful to you and motivates me to keep bringing you information that truly makes a difference in people's lives. Share this video with those you love, with that family member who drinks juice every day thinking they're doing themselves a favor, with that friend who was diagnosed with fatty liver and doesn't know what to do, with that person who's confused by so much conflicting information online. You can literally save someone's health by sharing this knowledge, and that's priceless. Comment below with your TGO and TGP levels. Tell me if you drink juice regularly. Tell me if you've tried to reverse fatty liver disease and couldn't, because I want to help you. I want to understand your specific situation. I want to give you personalized guidance. There's a lot more I need to tell you about how to reverse fatty liver disease, about the best foods for liver regeneration, about supplements that actually work, about intermittent fasting protocols specifically for fatty liver, about how to completely interpret your lab results. In the next video, I'm going to reveal the 5 foods you probably eat every day that are preventing your liver from regenerating. Foods everyone thinks are healthy, but are actually extremely inflammatory for those with fatty liver. I'll show you recent studies, give you practical alternatives, and teach you how to build an anti-inflammatory, liver-regenerating meal plan. So subscribe to the channel now if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any videos, because this is a journey we're going to take together, step by step, until you fully recover your liver health. I believe in you. I know you can do it, and I'll be here every week bringing you the best of science to guide you through this healing process. A big hug, take good care, and I'll see you in the next video.